Recently, we've all been hearing more and more about leveraging automation for our self-storage properties. I've been transitioning some of my own third-party managed properties over to this automated model, and I would love to share with you what made these sites a successful automated self-storage business. What I've learned and implemented has become the premise for my new guide, 3 Mile Storage Presents 3 Steps to Self-Storage Automation, and I want to send you access for only $1. Any self-storage owner can dramatically increase the value of their business by following this training. We're going to talk about live remote managers, contactless rentals, maintenance management, marketing, property management, and how to connect it all together. Plus, you'll also get some amazing bonuses for free. Bonus number 1, interviews with owners and operators using this automated model. Bonus number 2, a free analysis of the online attention your self-storage business is getting, because we all know attention equals rentals. Bonus number 3, free DaVinci lock. Bonus number 4, digital copy of the 3 Mile Storage book. And bonus number 5, a free 30-minute one-on-one implementation call. So go to 3mileautomation.com today to unlock mind-blowing value with automated self-storage. And as another bonus for those that take action today, you'll also be invited to join me and Open Tech Alliance on a one-day self-storage automation masterclass. You don't want to miss it. Again, go to 3mileautomation.com. Hi everyone, this is Jim Ross with the Self Storage Show. Today I got Brad Minsley back with me again for, returning guest, third, fourth, fifth? I don't know. I've lost count. With 10 Federal. And I'm doing some segments talking about, the unmanned facilities. And of course, you're the man for that. So I wanted to have you come on. So if you don't mind, give us a kind of a brief introduction and we'll get right into it.
Yeah, Jim, good to see you again. We've had interesting but good year. We're up to just over 2 million square feet, just over 54 facilities now. I think we're operating unmanned across 12 states. So
Nice. You're growing every time I talk to you. You're growing leaps and bounds.
we're trying.
That's well, again, that's kind of just shows you that's what people are looking more and more to kind of different solutions and this kind of thing. And you're the one to talk to about this. So anyway, kind of take me back a little bit beforehand. Just kind of what made you kind of go into the unmanned storage in the first place?
Yeah, we stumbled into it. We got into self storage as a way to teach ourselves how to do construction. We are big believers in vertical integration,
Yeah.
and we had been active in multifamily, so we bought a storage deal, and it came with a manager, and unfortunately for him, it also came with a camera system where I could watch him day in and day out, and that guy wasn't doing too much. So we had been using technology on the multifamily side to be more efficient, and that's what we set out to do. And so, it's interesting though. It's evolved. People look at automated as this kind of binary manned or unmanned
Yeah.
method, and it's really not how we approach it. We really look at more. If you take a pie chart and divide up the roles and responsibilities of that manager into maintenance and talking to customers and payables, we broke that apart and handed each of those tasks off to the best and most capable individuals in each of those areas. And that allows us to do that much more efficiently. And so if you convert everybody in our storage company into full-time positions, and then you divided that across all of the facilities, we're at 0.6 employees per person.
Really? Wow.
And that's really the key to the efficiency side
Yeah.
of the automated, if you will, or unmanned operations.
No, that makes sense because again, I was a manager for a long time. You wear a lot of hats, and you're wearing a lot of hats, you're spinning all the plates, and yeah, if you kind of break it out like that and look at the efficiencies, if things can be done more efficient and more cost effective, you can kind of go talk about cost. Yeah, that's a great way to go. I know sometimes people have a hard time thinking of change or making that switch, but that's why I want to do this is have more of just a chance of having a conversation of just kind of people to kind of just take a step back a little bit sometimes and just look at it from another perspective because what you're doing is amazing with this
I
kind of
appreciate it.
it's great. And you kind of like I guess for people that are listening to this and owners are thinking, well, maybe this could be a good fit, for me to go on this switch. Any kind of challenges you think that you can see when they first start going down that path?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the biggest surprises and challenges we overcame or
Mhm.
had to overcome, first and foremost was the call center.
Okay.
Keep in mind, I need to date the fact that when we started this, it was over 5 years ago. The call centers have grown in their capability since then. But when we started, there really weren't any third-party call centers that could do everything we needed,
Sure.
as far as leasing over the phone, for example, just something as simple as that. So we started our own call center, um, and that's demanding. I mean, that's a rigorous ordeal, um, to do it well. You just
Yeah.
need somebody to answer the phone. 70% of your customers, even I don't care how good your website, kiosks, and all that are, how many signs you've got, 70% are going to reach out to you during your leasing process. There's no way to escape that. So you
Sure.
just have to have somebody ready to answer the phone. But if you have that, you can really take the leap into being unmanned, at least at the facility. Um, Website, 24% of our renters go through the website without talking to anybody, and 6% through the kiosk.
Oh, okay. God, that's it's good to know those kind of stats. But you're right, though. I mean, you live or die by the call center. I mean, because that's replacing the manager. That's that point of contact.
Yeah.
You gotta have. And yeah, you're right. It's come a long way. It's just in the last few years. So yeah, definitely a good thing to have. Um, so you kind of mentioned, as far as where people are coming from, like, on the phone or just coming to the site, kiosks, that kind of thing. Do you mind just taking a few minutes, kind of walk me through, like as a customer, kind of the first time if I'm want to rent a unit and I go to the website, or I'm calling, what
Yeah.
happens?
Yeah. Well, first we gotta find you, or make you find us, right?
Sure.
So we advertise Google, and we advertise through Spiritlight. I've tried Yelp, Facebook, Craigslist, newspaper ads, postcards, all those items. And frankly, Google and Sparefoot still represent the best return on investment for us. And Google, it's not just,
It's kind of the 80/20 rule. That's where you get most of
yeah,
the stuff from. Yeah.
you get them from all of them, but where are you going to get the most for each dollar you spend?
Yep.
And you don't need to go overboard with either of them. You need to do, it's like priming the pump. If you kind of make that investment, you do better in SEO and stuff like that as well. So yeah, I definitely recommend those two channels. Now they found you. Now what happens? So, if they go through the website, great. It's like buying an airplane ticket on Delta. I mean, it's just that happens. You're done. You've created your gate code. You show up at the facility, punch in your gate code. You go to your unit. Yeah, that one is pretty straightforward. The folks that call, though, they call with the same 10 questions everybody in the world asks. It's a month to month. How does this work? Who, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Just it's a short conversation. But the beautiful thing is we use Storage. Storage has always done a great job with their software for electronic document signatures and stuff. So while our call center agents are on the phone with that customer, they're literally sending them the lease and everything that the customer can open up on their smartphone or computer if they're in front of it, sign the document electronically, and it's done. They've leased over the phone. Now that was a capability that call centers didn't have when we started. I don't know exactly where they are now. I'm sure they're probably getting there or are there, but that's what the process looks like. And the world's accustomed to it. I mean, you do so much transaction remotely without face to face with anybody anymore that
Yeah.
you just have to make that available.
Well, storage, not to knock my own industry, but sometimes we're 10 years behind the times. We are,
At
and
least,
that's why I want to have these kind of conversations, because again, that's the capability is there. Don't fight it. It's there. So again, once they rent, cool, they get their gate code, they're going down, rolling the door up. I'd imagine there's a lock inside their form or something like that, or they can go through a vending machine kind of a thing and get the lock, or how does that work?
so that's where our Da Vinci lock system
There you
comes
go.
in. So we use our Da Vinci
I was
lock.
teeing that up for you.
There you go. Thank you, Jim. Look, we're obviously self promoters. We're always marketing, even if it's us. So let me just tell you, the Da Vinci lock is our system that we came up with. It's a mechanical combination lock. When we turn that unit, and that maintenance guy's out there and turning that unit, he puts a Da Vinci on it, and that Da Vinci lock system is tracked. The way we track is it's got a serial code. So we know what lock we're dealing with and we know what unit we put it on. We track that in DaVinci software. And that DaVinci software is talking to all the different management software systems now, SiteLink, Storage, Easy Storage. So with like our storage system, somebody rents that unit, doesn't matter if they do it through the kiosk, the website, or the call center. The DaVinci system is monitoring storage. And the moment it sees that lease, it grabs that customer's information and it texts them or emails them or calls them, depending on how that person is selected in their profile to be contacted, and tells them, hey, there's a lock on your unit to secure it as a vacant. The code to it is 1234, whatever the code to the lock may be. And we encourage that customer to keep that lock. And this works so well. I mean, there's over 500 companies that signed up on DaVinci last year.
Nice.
They usually, yeah, it's cool. That was good. Thank you, COVID. One of the few things a few silver linings there. But most companies start using the DaVinci for the overlock, but they quickly realize that like the vacant is, we sell, for every one overlock we sell now, we sell 5 locks to secure vacants. Because the customers love it, because nobody ever remembers to bring a lock, or vending locks, especially unmanned, it's hard to do.
Yep.
And it's great, from a maintenance standpoint. If you have a bad odor or a water leak or something, you're trying to figure out what unit it's in, you're not cutting off 20 locks anymore and mailing out keys and all that. You just look up the code, fix the issue, return it all to normal. So it's really makes everybody's lives a lot easier.
I didn't even think about that as far as the code. That's genius. I don't have to worry about cutting locks off. No, that's great. Yeah, I want to make sure we talked about the DaVinci locks because I'm new on board on that too. I'm converting. That's awesome. I love it. Just real quick, kind of walking through the process again, as far as owners are thinking about doing this now. As far as cool, we got the call center worked out. We're doing the on rentals, but you still got to have some boots on the ground. You still got to have someone being able to kind of do walkthroughs, maintenance, cleaning up units, that kind of thing. How do they kind of, any recommendations on kind of getting that piece of the puzzle, find that figured out?
Right. So you do need a local maintenance technician, right? This person's going to visit that property 2 to 4 times a month is what we average. Depends on the size of the facility, a couple other factors. We try to get concentrations of properties. So we might have one maintenance tech handling 6 properties. And we find that ends up usually being about the limit. Our facilities are 200 to 300 units in size.
Yeah.
If you don't have 4 or 6 properties in an area, you can certainly do it with just one. And we hire a lot of part-time maintenance techs, or just somebody that's looking for a little extra money. The hours are generally flexible. We frankly have had a tremendous amount of success with the veterans community. These guys and gals are still very able-bodied. They've retired, but they retire relatively young. They have their own health insurance at part-time. They don't really need the benefits there. And they're a can-do crowd, man. I mean, I can't say enough good things about them. So, we've got a lot of veterans working for us, and that's been wonderful. They do a great job.
All right, that's a good tip. So I got tested that too. I've hired veterans and all that. They're very diligent, kind of just they work on their own. They're very timely and all that. So yeah, there's a lot of good things to say about that. Last thing I want to ask you, and we'll kind of wrap this up here, is kind of put a bow on everything. People that are thinking about making this transition, going to unmanned storage facilities. Sometimes they still kind of have that hesitation of customer service is going to start dipping.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that, I'm sure you're the same way. You can talk a little bit about this, but I think doing this and having the pieces in place and doing it correctly, like we're talking about, you can actually have a higher, customer service than you have been in the past.
Yeah. So you really hit on an interesting part of all this, right? So at the front end of the conversation, we talked how we're at 0.6 employees per facility.
Yeah.
But one metric that goes hand in hand with that is how many hours a day or a week can you talk to a live person at 10 Federal? And the answer to that for us is our call center is open 81 hours a week. So if you think about that, compared to a legacy facility with a manager that's maybe there 40 hours a week, we're there twice as much as far as availability to talk to a live person for 40% less labor cost. I mean, that's a great ratio. And people appreciate that. A lot of them are conducting their storage needs outside of business hours. Um, so I think, are able to offer a great level of service. Um, and another thing that goes hand in hand with the marketing then are reviews, right? And
Yeah.
reviews, this isn't just people making their buying decisions based solely upon reviews. I mean, that's half of it, right? I mean, I don't buy anything on Amazon, for example, if it doesn't have like 4.5 out of 5 stars reviews, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
our culture is extremely reviews oriented now, peer reviewed. But what many other people may not realize is how important reviews factor into your placement in SEO. It is a major component of Google's algorithm as well as Sparefoot's algorithm to have high reviews, to be placed high in SEO searches.
Sure.
So you really want to focus on providing the best level of service you can. And with the unmanned model, there's something that we've learned through surveying our tenant base is what we ask them, what do you think about it? And it's really binary. They either love it, they're like, this is so convenient, this is how it should be, thank you for doing this. Or they're like, it feels a little absentee. Like, I'm not sure I really want to leave my valuable possessions here where there's nobody here even during the day, much less at night.
Yeah.
And so what we've learned is that the more technology that we can present to them, the more comfortable that second group becomes.
Hmm.
So like we started going with these smaller and smaller kiosks because they cost less. I was literally using like a Microsoft Surface Pro bolted to the wall.
Yeah.
And instead you can actually see it behind me. That's our current kiosk. This is a monster 46-inch flat screen and pedestal kiosk. And it imposes a level of shock and awe to those customers. We've now recycled those Microsoft Surface Pros, put them up on the wall, and now we're doing video calls into the kiosk office. So when a customer approaches, our camera system recognizes that it's a person,
Yeah.
versus like a dog or a car or something, notifies the call center division that does video calls. That agent then initiates a video call into that office so that we can really impress upon these people that, even though we're not physically present, we're always virtually present and we're there for them. And we've got a lot of other cool stuff coming out in 2021 to only double down on that aspect.
That's cool. That's why I wanted to have you on, because I know you're always at the forefront on kind of pushing the envelope all the time when it comes to this kind of stuff. And no, it's fantastic. So I'm a believer in the model. I know a lot more people are starting to come on. So I want to make sure you took the time to come on. So I really appreciate you doing that, man.
Yeah, man. Good to see you. Appreciate the opportunity.
All right. We'll do it again soon. Thanks a lot.
All right, buddy.
Take
We'll
care.
see you, Jim.